have an unidentified flying object.
Notified to take a look at UFOsightsDaily.com in regards to some interesting photographs. What you're looking at is Apollo 7 images, launched October 11th, 1968. Scott Warning, the owner of the website, claims that the detail in the ship is made by a species far more advanced than us, and its design looks nothing like most of us would imagine. Take a look at the photos and you decide. We're going to go to the original website where this was published, and that is Lunar and Planetary Institute website. They're a planetary institute, and they research and support services to NASA and the planetary science community, and conducts planetary science research. Well, what do they have to explain about these pictures, and why did NASA cover up these photos with duct tape? NASA now has a reputation for covering up UFO ET evidence pretty much in plain sight. It's nothing new. They've been doing this since early times during the Apollo missions. Here's more evidence. I'd have to say UFOsightsDaily.com does a great job in looking at NASA anomalies and posting it on their website. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies, your eyes peeled for the unknown. Have your cameras ready. Send it to Third Phase of the Moon. Share it with us, share it with the world. We'll see you again next time.
Third phase of the moon.
Greg Bradford, visiting from Minnesota, right here on the Big Island of Hawaii, captures of what looks to be some kind of military craft, in my opinion. But he claims it was a flying saucer and it made no noise. Take a look at the video.
Phase of the moon.
When I say military aircraft, I mean reverse engineered alien technology involved. So don't get me wrong, I believe that there's something going on in this video. The military is conducting major operations right here in Hawaii. Exercises. Is this some kind of new military technology? Check the link below to view the original video. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. This is something special. Share this video, embed it, get the word out. Blake Cousins, we'll see you again next time.
Third phase of the moon. Third phase of the moon.
Mars. And the Mars Science Laboratory posted some raw images that we're going over right now of what looks to be some kind of, well, if you ask me, a man on Mars cleaning the rover. I did a side-by-side comparison with Brent. I had him stand out to see if we could match the image and the silhouette, and it turns out to look to be a perfect match. Everybody, what's going on Mars? Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. We'll see you again next time. Be sure to check out the original link to the Mars Science Laboratory to see for yourself this incredible evidence. What you're looking at is the HV Project. Incredible imagery of the sun just taken a couple days ago of what looks to be a triangular shaped star craft, possibly harnessing energy from the sun. This incredibly large starcraft is approximately the size of 2 Earth-like planets. I've put the link in the original description below. Take a look and make sure you put in the coordinates that are specified right here. Everybody join us tonight on 1998, Honoka, Hawaii. This is what got Third Phase of Moon, myself, and Brent Cousins involved with something extraterrestrial. With over a dozen eyewitnesses, we witnessed UFOs all night. Nobody had a video camera or cell phone like modern technology. Now, the new era has begun. We're not alone. We're excited to announce 2015 to get to new videos, photographs. From new footage just into Third Phase Moon, we've got Ed, famous abductee from 2014, controversial, incredible imagery. Is he the man that has the best footage for the past decade, in my opinion, right here at Third Phase of Moon? His videos, his photographs have still yet to be debunked by the experts out there, whoever they are. Anyway, Ed, Happy New Year. Thanks again for joining us right here at Third Phase.
Well, happy New Year right back to you, Blake. I hope you enjoy this new footage. I just shot this with my new Christmas gift. I got a Samsung phone, and I shot it with that, so it's not the best, but I'm learning to use it, and it's easy to get out, but I don't know how good of a job it is. But you take a look at this footage, Blake. This is something I've never seen. This is incredible. I got my neighbor in on it, too. I'm not a military career guy, but I've never, but this looks military to me, Blake. You have a look and tell me what you think.
We're looking at it right now. I just got this video within 20 minutes, and I'm glad you're taking our call right here at Third Phase. And I'm going to be asking the big questions right here because people want to ask you the big questions, Ed. Ed.
Shoot, go ahead, Blake. I'm here.
All right, Ed. Is this a drone? Is this something that you manufactured yourself?
No. This is not me manufacturing anything, but I was going to answer your question that yes, maybe so. My opinion is that this is a military-based craft. And is it a drone per se? Not the ones I've been seeing on the news, but I think this is a military craft. And I say that because of the time of day and the experience that I've had before with other ships, with other craft. This is not like that.
Well, this is definitely not Colorado. You see the coastline in the background. Can you tell us where you shot this?
Well, I don't want to tip my hand and my family's privacy, but spent the holiday season over here on the left coast. We're up in Northern California.
Okay, Ed, we're looking at the footage again, and the beginning part is one of the most fascinating. It's probably the most close-up imagery of an unidentified flying object, flying saucer, possibly reverse engineered technology, military based, as you say. Tell me, how big was this thing?
Oh, this was about the size of a mid-sized family car. It seemed to be no longer than 20 feet long.
Wow, the clarity, and did it give off any kind of sound or hum? Obviously, this is a question that needs to be asked.
Blake, there was a sound, and it was more of a sound from displacement of wind, of movement of air. Didn't have a mechanized sound. Didn't have an exhaust sound.
All right, Ed, you were talking about neighbors, or you had family that witnessed the same thing?
Well, not my family, but my relatives' neighbors were home, and they were making some sounds and noises when I was shooting it. I went over and talked to them and got them in on it. So I was not the only one to get this sighting.
You know, Ed, there is a lot of sometimes flack that comes in third phase movie just by sharing your footage, your story. Some people say you're the man. You have some of the best footage and evidence.
I don't know about that being a man or anything, but you know, I got a lot of footage. I've shared a lot of footage with you, and the response has been, you know, pretty much positive. But there's always going to be people out there saying this, that. But I don't know what to say to them, Blake. I can just tell you what happened the other day in this new footage I sent to you. You know, this is important stuff. This is amazing stuff, and I share it with you guys. And there's other people there experiencing it with me, and I got to tell you, some of them didn't even care that we're there. Some of them are there. We're like, look at it, look at that. And we're shooting it, and they don't even care while we're seeing it. So I don't know what they're saying or something like that. You can't make all the people happy all the time. I don't know what to tell you about it, Blake.
All right, I wanted to extend this conversation. I know you'd like to keep it short, but I want to have you on for a few more minutes because I think this is, you know, broad daylight sightings, flying saucers, shot unconventional technology, well, not on a potato. It's very clear what we're seeing here. Let me say this, Ed. In your opinion, again, you don't think this is alien whatsoever, like some of your past occurrences with Voss?
No, Blake, yeah. My initial opinion is that this is military, and the reason why is the size, the shape, the movement, the way it acted, and also the time of day. I've had encounters with flying objects during the day, but primarily it does happen at nighttime, at dusk, and then late at night. I've had much fewer sightings during the day. And the way this craft behaved, again, I'm no expert, but I tend to believe that this is a military-based craft.
So do you think, we just had a question here from my brother here, do you think it's possibly military that's following you around now?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't look at myself as being that important. Yeah, I have a lot of footage that I'm still collating and, you know, getting different formats together because this is an important archive. But as far as being tracked and monitored, I don't know. And I don't really, you know, what the heck? I'm an old man now. I don't care. What the heck? I'm just sharing what I got. You know, I don't know, Blake. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. You do share this stuff with Third Phase of Moon, and I don't see you sharing it anywhere else throughout the media, CNN. Have you tried to submit this footage? I know people right here at Third Phase are looking forward to your evidence, but anybody else? Are you sharing it with anybody else?
Hey, I got to tell you, I've shared this stuff with some major networks over the years. Some of my footage dates back to, 1970s. I don't want to drop names, but the people I've sent this footage to and have contacted and follow up with me, and never anything ever came of it. And, there was a time in my life, I'll be honest with you, that this was what I was going to do because I had this footage and I had these events happen to me over and over again. So I realized that a long time ago that this was not going to define me and who I am and how I'm making my life and living. I have a job, I have a career, I got a family. But this is something that is part of my life. And it's not just me, it's many people out there, as I've said before. And I'm not the only one. But, I share it with you, and you guys use it. You get some mileage out of it, so more power to you. I appreciate you, Blake, and your brother Brent, and what you guys are doing. And like you guys say, let's just let the people decide. You can show it to them.
Absolutely, Ed. You heard him right here. 2015, the first of something that's going to go down in history, I think. Ed's footage is something that people need to look at. We're just getting some insight coming in right here at Third Phase Moon. Ed, I really want to thank you for joining us. And
thank you very much. It's always a pleasure speaking with you and your brother. And I hope to be sharing some more stuff. I wish you both a very happy New Year and all your Third Phase of Moon family.
That's it, Ed. Everybody. Blake Cousins here. Look at the footage. We're slowing it down, analyzing what.
I don't see it. Whoa, look at that. It's right overhead.
Welcome back. Third Phase Moon, Blake Cousins here, the top UFO channel in regards to the UFO phenomenon. You saw the video last night. We posted it. Now we got James. with us right here at Third Phase Moon. We're going to go over his testimony and his eyewitness accounts to what looks that some people are claiming is the Aurora Project. So right now we're going to go to James right now. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon.
Thank you.
All right, James, you submitted this last night. Can you tell me when this went down, what happened, and what was your thoughts on this? Let's start. Where was this in the first place?
You know, I live in Lompoc, and that's not too far from Vandenberg. And I think that, who knows? It could be some secret thing they're doing, for all I know. But I've never seen anything like it.
Well, when we're listening to the video, it seems that you're looking for it, then all of a sudden it appears over a rooftop. Is this your home?
No, it's not too far from my home. But what happened was the same. I got a glimpse of it earlier. It caught my eye, and I just sort of stopped what I'm doing. It went out of sight. And I was looking for it, and it turned. It must have turned to come in the direction it did over the house. And when it did, it was a surprise. Hey, it's a pretty blue, but whoa, I've never seen anything. I was just going, what in the hell is that?
Absolutely. Do you think some people are claiming that it's a drone? But drones make a lot of noise. Did you hear any noise of any kind?
No noise whatsoever. And it was, I don't know. It felt eerie, actually, in the area where I was at. And a couple of people I was with said, God, that was really strange. It felt funny.
You say it felt funny in what way?
Oh, yeah. It's really hard to tell how far away it was.
Oh, well, what I meant is...
it was sizable.
You said that people said it felt funny. Was there like a static charge in the air?
Something that, I can't really pin down at all. I can't say it, like electric or static at all. It just felt strange, in the ambient.
When you captured the object in the second shot, there appears to be some kind of like orb that just darts into the picture and then totally freezes. Then seems like it kind of goes in the direction of the craft itself. Did you notice that as well while you're filming this?
I didn't. I don't have a clue what that is. I saw the video, and I saw that, but I can't explain what that was. My focus was on something that was spectacular to me.
So let me ask you: did you think about UFOs prior to this? What was your thoughts on extraterrestrial existence?
Oh, well, in this particular case, it looked out of this world, but it's hard to say. It was, something just so strange and beautiful, actually. It was really sort of neat. But as far as my feelings go, yes, I believe in life elsewhere. The odds are so much for extraterrestrial life. I'm inclined to believe civilizations billions of years, universes away, have existed over the eons. I'm not so sure. I think, I don't know what we could say to these folks. If they're coming here, in my opinion, from interstellar, just amazing technology. If they're coming intergalactic, it's just way beyond understanding how they could do that. It's, for us, we're like monkeys in a zoo compared to them.
Wow, James, I really want to thank you for sharing your footage with us at Third Phase Moon. We're going to put it out and share it to the world again. Thanks for submitting this.
I'm going out tonight and look for it again.
Absolutely. Keep in touch if you capture anything incredible and keep us updated.
I'll have my camera handy.
You heard it right there, James, right here at Third Phase of Moon. Incredible testimony footage. Everybody, we're not alone.
The conclusion I've come to is incredibly wild, that those in charge have been successful in keeping secret the greatest story of mankind.
The evidence is overwhelming that Earth is being visited by intelligently controlled extraterrestrial spacecraft.
The CIA guy standing next to me says, we're confiscating all this data and you're all sworn to secrecy.
They've all been studying this. They have more data than I do.
So the government has dumped disinformation and misinformation into the field for decades. They've undermined research.
I have lost faith in representative government. I truly think we're in gridlock. It doesn't work, and so we need to make a change.
I think it's ignorant of any people not to seek out what we need to know to continue the universe.
You give this committee a lot of reasons for us to say, open those files.
You're walking up to it and you touch it. What do you do? Touch it, that? Do you grab it? Tell us about that.
Okay. I started doing the walk around 360 of the object, and as I came around, I seen there was an inscription on the front, and
this is what you saw, right?
That's what I saw. So I started walking around the craft, and I seen the glyphs, and as I ran my hand from the fabric of the craft, it was smooth to touch.
You ran your hands along it?
Oh, yeah.
I believe that the time is now to lift the veil of secrecy that has shrouded this subject for over 60 years, and the subject of UFOs should now be openly accepted in the mainstream media.
They exist, they are here to save us against the insanity of our leaders.
I agree with you. They should open those Roswell files.
There's only one way to regain trust: find and tell the truth.
If it's out there, if it's real, we have a right to know.
The sky.
Blake Cousins here. Strange phenomenon in the sky over Stockton, California. 2015 CEFUN submitted incredible footage of what eyewitnesses from the General Area report a large UFO event that lasted for over 5 minutes.
The blue thing, right there.
People were stunned as the craft shot up in the sky and left a plasma wake in the clouds.
No, check out the thing in the sky. Look. It's weird. It's some kind of... That is beautiful. Check that out, you guys.
Oh, now it's just look red.
Now it's turning red.
Yeah. I think it's some kind of like a plasma thing.
I don't fucking know. Oh shit, and look at the clouds. It's
No, over here, the other one we saw.
Oh, what the fuck?
It was weird.
Look.
Like that's a sign of something.
Oh shit, and look to the right a little bit. There's a blue one developing. See it?
That's a sign of something.
Oh, that is crazy.
Oh, shut up.
Wow, that is crazy right there.
Weird. God's gonna come down, I'm telling you.
Wow, what is that, dude? Look up, look, zoom in. It's turning red. And there's another one on the right, developing.
Aliens are coming, yeah.
That is crazy.
Is this a wormhole time jump captured on camera? Everybody keep your eyes on the skies. We're not alone. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time. February 10, 2015, the U.S. commercial cargo ship known as the Dragon departs from the International Space Station as an unidentified object tracks its departure. Take a look. Notice as the UFO appears in frame, the camera conveniently switches to another camera angle. Typical NASA trying to cover up UFO evidence. During the departure, there was actually 2 UFO events. Now take a look at this. The original link to NASA's commercial cargo ship departure is in the description below. Everybody keep your eyes on the skies and keep a close eye on NASA. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time.
Third phase.
Tell your mom to go. Oh, I guess I can.
Welcome back, Blake Cousins. Third phase of moon. The Phoenix Light phenomenon has happened again. Green-gray captures just over Arizona. Captured February 3rd, 2015. Green-gray goes on to explain that what's not visible in the video is the shape of the craft and the massive size of it. His fiancée and his wife tracked this massive object in the sky. Everybody take a look.
Tell your mom to go. Oh, I guess I can. It's a huge, like, circle.
You won't be able to see it.
From the upstairs window, from Richard's window.
Okay. You want to call from this one?
Wow.
Green Gray also states the local news did a story claiming that it was some kind of Air Force flare drop. But that's what they said about the Phoenix Lights. There they go again, the media trying to explain away the UFO phenomenon. Everybody keep your eyes on the skies, and if you've captured anything incredible, submit it to Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. Again, the main description below of Green Gray's account is in the description. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time.
It's moving. Yeah, it's moving. I can't tell how far away or how high it is. Yeah, see, it's going over the hill.
Yeah, it is.
It's going over the mountain. It's fading out. Are they moving or are they going out? Are they fading out?
They're going away. It's over the hill, I think. Over the mountain.
Oh, wow. I don't know what that was. It's gone. There's one little dot left. Yeah, it's moving. It looked like a huge circle.
It's over there.
Moving around, yeah.
beasts of the moon.
Stunning shot from the Apollo 10 mission 1969 of the Earth. As we zoom in closer, people tell us via email, take a look at StreetCap's discovery of what looks to be some kind of plasmic life form just above Earth's orbit. Take a look. And if you've captured anything incredible in regards to the UFO phenomenon, please contact Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Blake Cousins here. We'll see you again next time. Welcome back, Third Phase Moon. Blake Cousins here. Adam submits incredible video from Mountain View, Sunnyvale, California, 6:30 a.m. on his way to work on January 31st, 2015. Adam writes, I saw this on my commute this morning. Clear skies all around, minus this cloud formation, which is brown on the left side, blue and white towards the middle, and red near the ends. I've also seen UFOs near this location in the past. My work is right at the exit of the video, and Moffett Field is just minutes away. Well, Adam, we did a little bit of checking, and there are people that are claiming that it wasn't a UFO or any HARP testing, but in fact a Delta II rocket that was launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base. Thanks, Adam, for submitting your video to Third Phase Moon. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Have your cameras ready. We're not alone, people. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time. Just off the coast of South Mexico, Puerto Angel, Javier Garcia captures an incredible sighting along with eyewitnesses as this event goes on for a few minutes. Take a look.
Third phase of the moon. Third phase of the moon.
Join the discussion as Dr. J. Andy Elias interviews famous journalist Jaime Maussan from Mexico City. And we enhance this video, get close-ups, and get a closer look. The link is right there. Click it. Listen to the entire interview right now. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. We'll see you again next time. Third Phase Moon, Blake Cousins here. Don't forget Friday night's radio show. The link is below. More investigation, more insight into Canada's possible UFO crash. But in the meanwhile, take a look at this image. Dwarf planet Sirius, taken by NASA's Dawn probe on February 9th, 2015, from a distance of about 29,000 miles, shows two mysterious bright spots on the dwarf planet surface. The Dawn principal investigator, Chris Russell of UCLA, said in a statement that this may be pointing into a volcanic-like origin of spots, but we'll have to wait for a better resolution before we can make such geological interpretations. Could this be some kind of colonized outpost on a dwarf planet with an intelligent design? Everybody, take a look. Leave your comments below on what you think these lights are. Everybody, stand by. We'll see you Friday night. Straight from Manitoba Jackhead Indian Reservation, we have an eyewitness that left a message right here at Third Phase of the Moon. Stay tuned for that. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. We'll see you again next time. Blake Cousins here. Welcome back to Third Phase of the Moon. Just going over our emails this morning, and we were notified to take a look at UFOsightingsdaily.com in regards to some interesting photographs. What you're looking at is Apollo 7 images, launched October 11th, 1968. Scott Warning, the owner of the website, claims that the detail in the ship is made by a species far more advanced than us, and its design looks nothing like most of us would imagine. Take a look at the photos and you decide. We're going to go to the original website where this was published, and that is Lunar and Planetary Institute website. They're a planetary institute, and they research and support services to NASA and the planetary science community, and conducts planetary science research. Well, what do they have to explain about these pictures, and why did NASA cover up these photos with duct tape? NASA now has a reputation for covering up UFO ET evidence pretty much in plain sight. It's nothing new. They've been doing this since early times during the Apollo missions. Here's more evidence. I'd have to say UFOsightingsdaily.com does a great job in looking at NASA anomalies and posting it on their website. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies, your eyes peeled for the unknown. Have your cameras ready. Send it to Third Phase of the Moon. Share it with us, share it with the world. We'll see you again next time.
Third Phase of the Moon.
Third Phase of the Moon, back live on the radio, taking your calls from around the world. We'll be playing a video while you're listening to this show. If you haven't been seeing it already and asking, what are we looking at? Well, it's a flying saucer captured a week before this went down over the Winnipeg area. This came in just yesterday, and they said that it was a really nice clear day, and whatever was up in the sky stayed there for about 3 minutes. This is the whole entire uncut video. It's quite amazing. We're going to be zooming in on this thing, getting a closer look. It's not a balloon, in my opinion. It's metallic in structure. It's incredible video, and it's ironic that it's a flying disc captured over Canada in the Winnipeg area, and then a week later this goes down. Could this be the disc? Could this be what the military was testing in that area, with the population being so minimum? What a perfect place to test flight. A flying saucer, reverse engineered possibly, and maybe it malfunctioned and it went down, and people, they don't want the people to share it. They don't want people to get it out. This is some incredible evidence that's coming in. The line is to call in right now. It's 347-934-0378. Third Phase of the Moon is standing by. Take a look at this video. Incredible. And we'll be right back. Third Phase of the Moon Radio, live, taking your calls from around the world in regards to the UFO phenomenon happening right now. The past few days have been very, I would have to say, crazy about what's been going down, what's been coming into Third Phase of the Moon in regards to the alleged UFO crash over there in Manitoba, Jackhead First Nation Reservation. Military cover-up, or just a military exercise of an airplane purposely downed by the military to see if they could recover an airplane in the middle of the lake. Doesn't sound very practical, if you ask me. When we received word from multiple sources, when we went live a few days ago with Mark's interview, the world picked this up, and everybody started to become an investigator. We were the first to break this news story to the world, and we were hoping to
see maybe if the world is going to change. We try to get in touch with the chief of Manitoba, and we got in touch with the band office, and a mysterious man took the phone call. I thought he said he was the chief, but then it turned out he was somebody else that was speaking for the chief. Not exactly sure who this man was, but if you listen to his testimony, it sounds very suspicious. His mannerisms and his openness to communicate, to debunk the story, seemed a little unusual, if you ask me. Everybody, the link is below to listen to whomever was at the band office over there in Manitoba. It's quite incredible. Then, just yesterday, I received a message from a man who wants to remain anonymous, who apparently was on the scene as this event went down. We're going to be listening to that live right here at Third Phase of Moon Radio. Remember, call in, share your story. If you have any questions, we'll be standing by. Now, let's get to this incredible message that I received yesterday.
I'm not going to say my name at this time. I am a mineral services engineer. I've been working in the area for many years now. The reason I'm calling is because I've been following this story in the social media, and much of what you guys are talking about is quite correct, but I've got to say that there's a lot of disinformation going around out there, and I just want to set the record straight about these fishermen who were allegedly detained. Now, I saw several gentlemen being taken away by the Canadian police. I believe that this may have something to do with what they're saying are the fishermen, relating to the story of the fishermen being detained. I don't know that these gentlemen were fishermen. I don't really know who they are or what they were doing, but I do know that these gentlemen were taken away by the Canadian authorities. This area, it is being guarded, it is being surveyed, there's a lot of surveillance, there are a lot of military personnel in this area. The level of military activities that were taking place in this area were very extreme. There must have been about 40 personnel there and 20 vehicles there. When I finally did leave the area and I headed back towards the village, I noticed that there was quite a presence of military and some kind of professional personnel throughout the town, which I really had never seen before. In my years working in this area, I have never seen this level of military activity throughout this area. And it seems as though this is something that they don't want anybody to know about or to talk about. I had a lot of difficulty getting my camera out of the area. When I got close to the town, I was approached by some officers, and they asked me, did I have a laptop or any digital devices on me? And fortunately, I had buried my camera underneath the tire compartment in the back of my truck. And so they fortunately didn't search my vehicle, and so I was able to get out with my camera. And so I'll be sending you the photos that I did get from the area. There are some very peculiar things taking place there. You guys can be the judge yourself. There has been a lot of activity over the last 3 nights. But today, it really seemed to quiet down a bit. So whatever may have been there, perhaps they finally have dealt with the issue. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on up here. I'll be getting back to you guys within the next couple of days, the next time I go out there. I just want you to keep following the story. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and keep following this story. There's something really interesting going on here. I'll get back to you guys. Thank you.
Third Phase of Moon, taking your calls live from around the world. The number to call in is 347-934-0378. Also, text and emails have been coming into Third Phase of Moon, and I wanted to share this with everybody as well. What we're doing right here is we're sharing information that comes in. We're not claiming this is all fact. From day one, we were suspicious from the story, but we said, hey, we're going to share this. And, 12 hours later, when we woke up, we found out multiple sources from different people that had no contact with the original source was saying the same story. So this, I think, still deserves a close eye. Now, here's a text that came in from a man. He called himself David, and he said this in the message. Here's how it goes. Listen to me. I don't have much time, and this mail and email might be terminated soon. My name is David, and I live here in Canada. I was one of the people who witnessed the event. I recorded a video of the military moving away the UFO and a video of the UFO crashed. I have it all. I've realized that I've been watching this for the past few days, and I know I have more information, and they're threatening me. I'm afraid of going outside because they follow me everywhere. You have to believe me. They are real. They are here. A few days ago, I was forced to delete any information I had about this event in Canada. I had time to make copies of the videos and pictures, and I was able to save them that day. So he's saying that he doesn't know if he should send them. He says that he's being forced by the military to delete these photographs. He says that he copied them, and he's worried if he wants to share these or not. Well, we're here, people. We're standing by. If anybody in that area has something that we have not seen yet, any information, reach out to Third Phase of Moon. Share it. We got to break this out. If this is what people are claiming is the new 1947 Roswell experience, everybody, the number to call in is 934, area code 347-934-0378. We'll be right back. Wow, I'm looking at this video, and I want to share this incredibly fast right now. I want to share it. I want to share it to the world. I think I should just get to editing this radio show, showing the up-close, detailed, enhanced video of this flying saucer captured a week before this all went down in Manitoba. Jackhead Reservation, First Nation, is this the spot? So, breaking news that we just put out yesterday. Ceres, the dwarf planet, captured by NOVA, NASA's satellite, 29,000 miles away, captures incredible photography. And when you zoom in, I'm asking myself, is this maybe the biggest evidence that we've not yet seen in a long time of a possible alien outpost captured on NASA's cameras themselves? We put this photograph out. The link is in the description, and you have to ask yourself, maybe some people are claiming that we were from this dwarf planet, Sirius, and this is where man maybe possibly originated from or existed at one point and then made their way to planet Earth. A month ago, astronomers were looking at this incredible anomaly. While it's very blurry, the video that was coming in, and now a month later, this incredible high-res definition photograph comes in, and scientists and NASA still cannot explain what this anomaly is. They're saying that it could be, volcanic spots, but there's no plumes whatsoever. Volcanoes don't really display themselves in a likeness to this. I think this video needs to be put out there. Kelly, what's your what do you think? What do you think I should do? You think I should get to it right now? You want to see this video that was shot a week ago before all this went down? It's quite incredible.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, especially with all that stuff, crazy stuff in Manitoba. I've been keeping up on that as well with you guys. And I don't know, to me, like I listened to that interview with that guy that was supposed to be, I don't know, a part of that office up there. He kind of sounds suspicious to me as well. That's why I kind of wrote that stuff on the Facebook post that you had on there. Because all those signs up there, to me, remember all the signs that you guys pictures of is your country needs you or your government needs you. Please stay quiet, or to that effect. To me, that's kind of what's going on up there. I hope we can get these pictures and videos that we'll send out to you so we can all check them out.
Absolutely. Kelly, I did find it quite interesting when I did get in touch with somebody, some kind of official at the band office for the Jackhead Reservation over there in Manitoba. But it was a cold call. He gave permission for me to share the conversation, but the way he kind of opened up and was, he didn't even flinch when I talked about the rumors going on in this area about a UFO that crashed into the lake over there. He acted like, oh yeah, that's a regular question that somebody would ask. Well, tell me, what do you find suspicious in that conversation? Let's get a little bit more in depth. I know there was a little bit of confusion because I was looking for the chief. I know the guy's name. I'm not going to say it here on air, but I was looking for the chief, and his first name is John, and David, excuse me, and then he says the chief. That's the chief. He's not in, but I could have swore he says I'm the chief, and then I called him the chief, and he didn't bother correcting me. Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to it, he seemed to be more, too casual, too, laid back, and the way he was explaining everything for him is saying that, yes, there was military up there, and I guess they were at a school or something doing business, and, it was nothing happened, kind of too much of the, nothing here, nothing to see here. That's kind of the attitude that I was feeling like he was portraying. And then he was, when you guys cut short, you were more defending the conversation, he was quick to get off. Or to me, again, your old, the last couple of weeks when we were talking about this was when all those signs that you had, that the pictures that people sent you, that to keep quiet, your government needs you. If even though they were military were up there and they were doing, the Operation Bison up there, I don't understand where they're trying to say that they shot down an airplane, and they're not going to just shoot down an airplane, and just have a land up there. If there's, that's Indian land up there. It's desolate. There's nothing really going on up there except for the military planning and stuff like that. It's just kind of weird because just like that lady was, saying as well, that the military will let people know within the community, hey, this is going to be happening around in here. They do that all the time up here at Camp Pendleton. They'll let everybody know that they're going to be firing weapons, or it's all blanks, but it's going to be really loud. They'll let people know what's going to, the community know at least what's happening. They just don't show up on your doorstep and say, oh, hey, how you doing? We're going to do some exercises.
It was weird. He said that they took over the school for a couple days to use it as a command post, and he also stated, there's this long pause in his response about this UFO crash in Lake. He says, as far as I know, they were fixing their snow machines, and exactly what he meant by snow machine, I'm not exactly sure. And yeah, it was a suspicious conversation. And he said I could call back, and I'm going to call back and see if I could get in touch with the chief himself, because where's the chief is the big question. The people were saying early on the chief was the one that was being detained, and he was the one that got the pictures. So everybody, where's the chief? Where's the chief of Manitoba? Come forward if you can, Chief, because send it to us. Contact Third Phase of Moon. But as far as the response we got, it was pretty much he closed the case. He said nothing went down, and his business as usual, simple military exercise, non-event. And some people take him on his word for that, and some people, by all means, this phone call that we got today goes against what the chief says, or that person over there at the office that we just shared right here live. So there's two sides of the story. There's more than multiple eyewitnesses that contradict what the man at the band office says. So, military has a pretty good way of, I'm sure if they know what they're doing, they're going to know how to cover this up as fast as possible and keep it as discreet as possible. They've done this before. That's their MO. If in regards to the UFO phenomenon and extraterrestrial existence, Kelly, hey, thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase.
Hey, yeah, no problem. But your question to that, what a snow machine is, like even up in Alaska when I used to live up there, a snow machine is just another word that they use for snowmobiles. So if they were up there fixing their snowmobiles, I don't understand, because of mobile units and stuff like that, they're going to be carrying parts. They ain't going to be needing any place to like stop off and fix their vehicles. Anyway, yeah.
Well, and the military said that they purposely crashed an aircraft over there, and then he didn't confirm nor deny that report. He said they're fixing snow machines in the lake, and he didn't mention anything about some downed aircraft purposely brought down by the military. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, why would he say that? Oh yeah, there's nothing up there that there's nothing. I didn't see. I could see I could see the lake from here. I don't see anything. But when the military's letting the people know, or even the newspaper saying, yeah, it was a down aircraft, that don't add up to me.
Yeah, and if there was a downed aircraft, why not just share a photograph or some video of, just to set everybody at ease? What's so top secret about recovering an aircraft from a frozen lake, if that's all it was? And then people are claiming, just as we said earlier in the radio show with our not conversation, but somebody left me a message via Skype, and they stated that they saw people being detained. And what do you think of that? It's kind of, yes, it's hard to grasp what's actually going on down there. It's just, it's quite amazing. Kelly, again?
Yeah, that's the thing I want to see. That guy, the interview he had, that if he did see something like that, I mean, he sounds like he's pretty legit. You know what I mean? I would like to see some of that stuff. I would like to see the military around this spaceship or whatever it is that they, claiming that they have. Now, if they're even saying that it's an aircraft, I mean, what kind of aircraft these guys got up there, Again, military is not just going to down an aircraft, especially around, if they're going to be around any kind of village and where any kind of bystander's going to be at. They're going to let them know. They're not just going to, like I said, they're not just going to, hey, we're going to do this exercise, and next thing you know, oh, well, we didn't blow it out of the sky, but let's follow this thing where it hits the ground, and, let's make sure that no one sees it. It's going to be like all top secret. Even some of the first pictures you got handed out, that everybody's seen online, was like there is no wing, there's no debris laid out everywhere. This thing looks pyramidal shaped. It's landing it through the ice. It's got a long stretch mark. Sums up like that. You can't just And then all these stories coming out, and they're all the guy that you contacted contradicting it. It just don't add up.
Some people are putting on the flash ad, and I think it's kind of a common thought here. People are saying right here, and some of them, Robert Francis says that it's because it's a top secret vehicle, and they had an accident, and they don't want you to know about it, and they have what they have, the technology they have, and it makes sense why they would cover it up. I think that's the most logical statement in regard to this. You have to think logical. Why the cover-up? Why so many secrets? Why the different statements from people on the ground over there? Why is the story continuously changing? Why are people... who is this guy at the office that I spoke to? I want to know that as well. And why aren't they just coming out with the truth and sharing some photos of an aircraft that they downed over there, if that's the case? Everybody, this is the big questions that we're asking. We're going to be sharing this video. You've been watching it right here on YouTube, Third Phase of Moon. We got to get it out. A video of a flying saucer a week before this all went down in Manitoba. And it is the Jackhead Reservation area. Everybody keep an eye out. Keep safe over everybody in that area. This is still breaking news, in my opinion. Blake Cousins. We'll see everybody again next time.
Phase. What?
All right, welcome back to Hour 2 of Dr. J Radio Live. Travis Walton and filmmaker Tracy Torme. Travis and Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Great to be here, Dr. J.
It's an absolute honor to have both of you on at the same time. And Tracy, I believe this is our first time on record finally speaking. So I'm actually really excited to speak to both of you and give the listeners out there a good preview of what you're going to be speaking about when we actually get to this April 4th event. Let me backtrack first and go direct the first question to Tracy. Tracy, were you interested in ufology prior to you hearing about Travis's case, or what made you go down the path of taking a case such as Travis's and putting it into the mainstream media as you did with the film Fire in the Sky?
Yes, I was always interested, and when I went to film school at USC, I made a decision when I was there that I wanted to do sort of the penultimate UFO film. I had sort of been a little bit dissatisfied with Close Encounters. I think there's a lot of good things about Close Encounters, but there were certain things about it that really I did not like. And so I did have an idea from a pretty early stage that I wanted to do a UFO film at some point in my career.
Now, when was it that you actually met Travis and started looking into his case as being the one that you wanted to write about and in essence, show on the big screen?
Well, I owned the rights to the book Missing Time by Bud Hopkins, and I actually spent 3 years in Hollywood trying to launch that as a movie. And at that time, really, people were not familiar with abductions, and so after a sort of a long, frustrating time of trying to launch that, I thought, well, maybe what I need is the best abduction story of all time. And I was of the mind back then that was the Travis Walton story.
And I second that motion. I definitely agree it is, with all the evidence, the physical evidence, that even at the trees that you could still see the growth there, all the witnesses, the fact that he was gone for so long. Just so much about it. Now, I know we don't need to relive this, Travis. We go through this pretty much every time. But I'm just going to ask you one question regarding what happened November 5th, 1975. In the past, you've stated what happened, essentially, that you got out of the truck. You were kind of show-off-ish, if you want to put that term, in front of your friends, and something hit you, and that's what rendered you unconscious, and your friends took off. Recently, you started to say that you don't think that the extraterrestrials necessarily took you because they wanted to do any experiments on you, but that more so they took you as an ambulance call to save your life. And I'm starting to look at your case through those lenses and really starting to see that makes more sense. When did you start to realize that this may have been more of an ambulance call than it necessarily it was would of the other cases of literally just being plucked out of their homes and studied?
Well, it was kind of a gradual process, you know. It was just an accumulation of things over time that just kept pointing in that direction. Plus, you know, having enough time to get over the overriding emotional impact that it had on me at the time, which, of course, was negative. And, you know, Fire in the Sky did a very good job of portraying that. But, you know, as time went on, I realized that my negative perceptions had more to do with the circumstances that I was in rather than their actual intention. You know, people are always talking about the alien agenda in the singular, and I believe there's probably as many agendas as there are species, and I think there's quite a few species.
I would definitely have to agree that with so many different... If there's life on, for instance, just on our planet, going across the pond, you have a different agenda within humanity. If you have species that are completely different in makeup, in their culture, I just imagine that the agendas are completely opposite on that end. Now, let's talk specifically about alien abduction as a whole. I personally think that this is the route that people need to be studying, since this is where you're going to find your answers. If you're looking at UFO sightings reports and you're actually looking at the film of what you've recorded in the sky, that's not going to give you an idea of how these extraterrestrials interact, how these extraterrestrials deal with their machinery, or anything along the lines of giving you an insight into their agenda. Tracy, when you said people didn't know much about alien abduction and you really wanted to put the best case out there, I get the impression that you recognize the importance of why alien abduction is so important, because to me, I think it has the answers there. Do you feel that's the reason that you chose alien abduction topic per se, rather than crash and retrievals or anything else available within ufology?
Well, again, I'm not trying to make the same reference the second time, but Hopkins had a very strong influence on me. I got to know him quite well, and I used to, when I was working at Saturday Night Live in New York, he was living in New York, and he used to call me up and invite me over to sit in on his abduction sessions. So there were many times that I would go into Greenwich Village and be sort of the witness of his sessions, of his hypnotic sessions with abductees. That's how I met Kathy from Intruders, Debbie Jordan, I guess. And so I think that he had a lot of influence on me in realizing that this was a very important thing that was going on and was sort of groundbreaking at that time. And I didn't originally lean in that direction, but again, sort of getting to know Hopkins, and then I was actually the person that introduced David Jacobs to Bud Hopkins and got them together as well. So I sort of got involved in abductions by accident, but it did have a very strong influence on me after the stuff that I had witnessed.
And now, Travis, you obviously, I would imagine, being in your position, all the questions over the last 40 years, probably one of the first people ask you is, what do they look like? What do they talk like? And essentially the same reason why I think everybody needs to look at alien abduction as having the answers to what we're looking for in ufology. Because you've had to answer those same questions thousands upon thousands of times, would you say to anybody out there who's also experienced this that they too should step forward, because they are they hold missing keys to the puzzles that other ufologists need to be looking at?
Well, you know, whether people come forward or not, I've always told them is an individual choice. They have to look at how it's going to affect their lives, their own psyche, those immediate family members and associates, not just the world at large. Of course, it would be beneficial for people to come forward, especially if they can document what they're saying. And that doesn't mean that people who can't document aren't telling the truth, but as far as providing the kind of motivation on the part of the public to accept that this is real, there is a kind of obligation. The old extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof, and at least some indication that people can rely on what they're saying.
I definitely agree with that statement you just said, that the absence of evidence definitely doesn't mean there's evidence of absence. And yes, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but there's certain things that you have to look outside the box for those answers. I think this topic is a little harder, actually a lot harder than anyone else, because of the fact that you don't have as much evidence to deal with. And then more so, you have a lot of people who make up experiences to sort of fit in, and you have to weed those people out. Now, Tracy, in your step to find the ultimate cases and your association with Bud Hopkins, which ultimately led you to having the series of Intruders, the television series, which was based on Debbie, so you saw the process with Bud yourself. Didn't you see how many people had to be weeded out in that process before they got to the level of getting to hypnotic regression?
Oh, that's an excellent point, and that's even more true today than it was back then, because so many people now have heard about these stories, and the possibility that they've been influenced by that, even unconsciously, is much stronger. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that was one of the main things even back in those days was to separate the wheat from the chaff and to separate the true people of experience from people that were sort of wannabes or had fantasies or delusions. And that still remains very, very true with abductions. You really have to be very careful with the experience and make sure that the experience is a real one. But what I did discover was that there was a subculture of people in America and around the world that had had this experience, that didn't want to have this experience. In most cases, they were very reluctant participants in it, which is one of the main problems that I have with the whole abduction process, is that I don't think people are asked their permission to be a part of the abduction experience. They're basically taken whether they like it or not, which basically makes them victims in a lot of ways. And I do believe that. I believe that most abductees are actually victims, and it's not always a very pleasant experience.
Exactly why so many people have post-traumatic stress symptoms following these, because not only do they not ask to be a part of the process, they don't ask to be taken at the times they do, driving or sleeping. I just can't even imagine, to begin to imagine the amount of trauma that they go through. But what I can tell you is my experience of seeing each person that steps forward and tells their experiences, the amount of support they have amongst others skyrockets. And then so does the probability that the others around them will come out and do the same thing. And the prime example I have is when Dr. Lear, our beloved but departed Dr. Roger Lear, before he passed, we did 2 documentaries, the first one being the Alien Human Project. And we needed 3 people that had been abducted. Nobody really wanted to come forward except one who was very outspoken at the time, who had something removed. But one of them was a member of Zero, and she asked that her name not be revealed and be filmed in silhouette. We did that. After that release of that first documentary, all her friends, others from the Zero support group, said, well, if she can go out and tell her story, so can I. They came forward and told their story without being in silhouette and with their real names being used. That ended up spawning a whole new set of people that came forward and were inspired to tell their story. And to date, there's been almost 20 that we put on camera who would have never have done so if it wasn't for the pioneers, people such as yourself, Travis. So with that being said, each time one of you speaks or the other, such as you, Tracy, has the opportunity to put their story on the big screen, you truly inspire them. Now, over the 40 years, Travis, that you have been dealing with this, because this story of yours made headlines the moment it happened, how many people have you seen that told you privately that they were taken, essentially come forward that they publicly that they were taken afterwards?
Now, what was the question again? How many people who confided in
over the years that the people that over the years from the moment you started talking about your case publicly, that people confided into you that they were also abducted? How many have you seen over the course of, despite however many years, even if up to 40, finally come out and speak openly?
There's been a few. I can't really name names, but there's been quite a few, and the whole issue of skepticism in good cases versus bad cases. I know there's a lot of people who come to me who report experiences that that I believe are sincere, that it's a real event, but at the same time, I think there's some who are sincere who probably didn't experience something on the same level that I did. And that's one of the kind of the false perceptions, false representations that the skeptical people try to portray about the UFO field, is that the investigators are just blindly accepting everything. And the truth is, that most of the organizations, most of the investigators probably reject the majority of the cases. The higher percentage are ones they don't accept. because of this phenomenon you're talking about, this imitation or copycat thing, or even a subconscious sort of influence, where they're not deliberately being deceptive. They believe something happened that didn't. So,
sorry, Travis, John in London. I was wondering, is there, of the cases that you've met, of people that come up to you and confide in you with their, their personal experience, is there any one particular one that stands out among the rest to you?
Yes, but like I said, I'm not going to get into naming names. There are some that I think are just absolutely BS, and there's some that I think are solid, but I'm not going to get into the situation where I'm sorting the wheat from the chaff, because I always swore that I would not do that unless I had thoroughly investigated the case, because you really don't have the right to do so unless you've, get the facts first. That was what I really, felt the most outrage about, was people that were judging our report and they hadn't even looked at the facts. They didn't have any idea, what was claimed or reported or anything, and they're already attacking it. So,
While I respect your anonymity to your certain friends and people that have confided, you say there are some cases where things have stuck out that you put down as possibly this is genuine rather than, chaff from wheat, separating it. But with the situation that you were in, it's a very unique situation. There's not a lot of people that do come forward like yourself. What is it that made the individuals that have come to you over the years stand out, without putting names to it? But is it because of something that you've experienced that no one else can experience that? Is there anything that you can give us, because there are many people all around the world, including myself, who's been into your case for many years and has always wanted to ask hundreds of questions, but obviously I realise we're very short on time, and I just really wanted to get your perspective of it. What is so different about an alien abduction compared to, say, a military abduction or just being abducted in the general sense? What's different that is real and it's not made up?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the definition of obscenity. You know it when you see it. And it's different every time, I would hesitate to, lay out a description of what would pass in that regard.
For very good reason, I could imagine, and especially what you just said earlier, that not to make any presumptions about any case until you looked at everything, because you've been the butt of those very same jokes from people such as Philip Klass, which surprisingly, or very sad to have seen that, but not surprisingly, all their arguments and claims were always without merit, always circular reasoning. Tracy, just as I posed the same question earlier to Travis, you too are a rock star, a hero amongst people who have been taken, because you took the most important case, or one of, if not the most important cases, the Travis Walton story, and put it on the big screen, and therefore gave it a voice where otherwise it wouldn't have had such a voice. I'm sure you too have also been confided with so many people who want their cases either to be, at least to be heard by somebody else, or I'm sure you get so many requests, more than anybody I would imagine in this film business in Hollywood, to make a film about their cases. And that sort of leads into the 701 question. I was just wondering, I know what that number means. I know everyone else here knows what that number means, but everybody listening may not know. Can you talk briefly about what that means?
Well, thank you for the kind words, by the way, Dr. J. But, yes, 701 was the Air Force study that went on from 1947 to, I believe, 1969. One of the things that we've discovered in doing research for this film is that so many cases were labeled explained that the Air Force investigated, but were really not explained. An example would be there'd be a sighting, the Air Force would say, oh, the planet Jupiter was very bright that night, we think it was the planet Jupiter. Then an astronomer would come forward a couple days later and say, Jupiter wasn't even visible on that side of the Earth at that time. But the Air Force would not then take off the explained category and admit that it was now unexplained. They would maintain that it was explained. So there are a number of cases that are listed as explained, which are silly. I mean, they really just don't stand the test of time. But even despite that, when the Air Force shut down Project Blue Book in 1969, they admitted to having 701 unexplained cases. And when they say a case was unexplained, it was really unexplained. It was something where they had tried desperately by hook or by crook to give it an explanation, and it still had no explanation. So we thought calling the film 701 was kind of like an inside joke sort of amongst us, by saying this is kind of a classic example of how the subject as a whole has not been adequately explained. And that's why we chose the number as the title of the movie.
I think one great thing that everyone needs to remember is in terms of skeptics, debunkers, or the government as a whole, we only need one. They have 701 that they labeled as unexplained. We just take one of those and prove it as to be what it is. If it's extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, and the whole argument is one. And that's why I think it's so good to have such a high number that they stamped. Because, as you mentioned, they really tried to debunk everything. As Hynek said at the end when he finished his Project Blue Book tenure, said that when he created the swamp gas explanation, he really was trying to find something. What's the most absurd explanation you've seen when you were going through the reports of Blue Book to do research for your next movie?